All right, I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. As you can see by my opening slide, this is actually a PDF that I've created. I'll make it available on Tuesday when we send out the newsletter, which will also have a recording of today's presentation. But we're going to be talking about proper sponsoring and placement techniques. And there's a couple things I want to do in today's presentation. First off, I want to start with giving you an overview for new distributors on proper sponsoring and placement techniques. And then I want to go into some terminology because it's important to understand the terminology of Synergy Worldwide with regards to how your Synergy organization is built and how you earn commissions, cash flow and commissions from Synergy Worldwide. And then I want to come back to the sponsoring and placement techniques to show you how important it is to do proper sponsoring and placement techniques, because if you don't, then you're going to most likely lose out on being able to get the rewards that come from the compensation plan. And if you do proper sponsoring and placement techniques, then you're going to be able to maximize the rewards of the compensation plan. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take this PDF and I'm going to blow it up a little bit here. And we're going to focus on the left-hand side. Let me take this down a little bit. All right, so if you look at the left-hand side, it says new distributor. When you bring a new distributor into Synergy Worldwide, one of the things that you want to do is help them when they begin to sponsor people in the Synergy Worldwide to properly place them in their Synergy organization. And then once they've started sponsoring people within their Synergy organization, you want to help them understand how to continue that process of sponsoring and placement with a goal of keeping their left and right-hand sides balanced. Now, we'll come to the terminology of this, but you have, when you come into Synergy Worldwide, a tracking center. It's called Tracking Center 1. That's the hub of your Synergy organization, and you have just a left side and a right side. And as a new distributor, what you want to do is when you sponsor your first person, you want to sponsor them on your outside left, the second person on your outside right, and then the third person would be on the outside of whatever would be your weak leg. So you have a left side and a right side. Once you sponsor a person, there has to be an activation order. That activation order creates what's called CV. We'll come back and again give you the terminology for what this means. And that CV is either going to be on your left side or right side, depending upon where you sponsor them. So the first person on your left, the second person on your right, the third person on your weak leg. And then after that, you're going to, again, work in threes. So the next person that you sponsor, you want to then sponsor on the outside of your weak leg, the second person on the outside of your strong leg, and the third person on the outside of your weak leg. And the reason why we recommend this sponsoring and placement technique is because we want to try and keep the two sides of your Synergy organization as balanced as possible, especially in the beginning as your Synergy business begins to take root and begins to grow. Now, we'll come back at the end of today's presentation and look at for existing distributors who maybe didn't do proper sponsoring and placement techniques, and one side of their organization or one side of their Synergy business took off, and they've got this massive amount of volume on one side, and they don't have anything happening on their other side. That's a problem. And so we want to come back and try and address that problem. And we're going to come back at the end of the presentation and talk specifically for that. Now, let me take this and lower the... So let's talk, well, even before we do that, you'll notice that there's this thing that says free training tools and resources can be found on our synergyfamily.com. So let me switch over to my other browser. And if you go to, again, Our Synergy Family, pretty simple URL, oursynergyfamily.com, and you click on the Your Synergy Funnel icon, you're going to come to this page. And as you scroll down this page, we've got step 1, create awareness and attraction. We've done Saturday presentations on this. We've got a key marketing strategy, a very simple email campaign. You know, I don't recommend that you that you go after family and friends to join you in the synergy business, but I do recommend that you share with family and friends your mission statement and how nitric oxide therapy could benefit them or loved ones that might be dealing with cardiovascular health issues. So again, this is a strategy for you to begin to create your customer base. We'll come back to this in just a second because it all plays into proper sponsoring and placement techniques to create volume, CV, whether it be CV volume on your tracking center one to earn elite rebates, or whether it be organizational volume on both sides of tracking center one, your left and right legs, because you're teaching people underneath you to do the same thing, which creates for them customers, CV volume on their tracking center one, elite rebates for them, but it also creates CV for you in your organization, which you then get the potential for basic commissions and mega matches. Anyways, going down here, when we get down to step number 2, consideration and convert, again, techniques and things and how to do that. And then when we get down to step number 3, client and engage, you'll find down here that we have this PDF, and I'm going to take today's recording, the recording of our presentation today on proper sponsoring and placement techniques, and I'm going to put today's recording on the right-hand side of this PDF. But if you click on this PDF, where does it take you? It takes you to this, what I call a cheat sheet, that if you've never printed this off, you need to go into our Synergy family. You need to go into your Synergy funnel. You need to scroll down to step number 3. You need to find the link, the picture for this PDF, and you need to print this PDF off and have it on your desk or in front of you so that as you sponsor people, you know exactly what you need to do in terms of placement. Now let's go back to today's presentation. Let's get some terminology straight. In Synergy Worldwide, we have what we call a tracking center. Your Synergy business revolves around what we call your tracking center 1 or TC1. And from now on, we're going to call it TC1. You have a left side and a right side to your TC1. That's your Synergy business. TC1, left side, right side. Now, you also get CV. CV is commissionable volume. Synergy operates in 25 different countries with 25 different monetary systems. We have Charity on the phone with us, or on the webinar today. Charity's in Great Britain. The monetary system of Great Britain is different than the monetary system of the United States, which is different than the monetary system of Canada. Churchill's up in Canada. So because of this, Synergy assigns a CV to every product and product combination. When that product is ordered, the CV either goes on your TC1 or it goes in your left or right leg on the TC1 of a distributor. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to have we want to have volume on our TC1 so that we can get paid the potential for the next definition terminology, elite rebates. Every month, your TC1 starts out at 0. You know, we're into the month of October. When we switch from September to October, all the volume that might have been on your TC1 gets reset to 0 at the beginning of each month. Any monthly auto ship that you might have, or any personal orders that you make during the month, or any customer orders that are generated during the month, that puts CV volume, CV, on your tracking center 1. And once that CV volume is above a minimum threshold, then you have the potential to earn a 25% commission, which is called an elite rebate. Now, I don't know what the minimum threshold is in Great Britain, but here in North America, the minimum threshold is 150 CV. The next terminology is basic commissions. At the end of the month, the side that has the least amount of CV is called your lesser leg, and you're paid a basic commission on that leg. Now, historically, it's never been less than 7%. Usually it runs somewhere between 7 to 8%. So when I do illustrations, I just use the 7% because it makes doing math computations easier. And again, if you have a left leg and a right leg, Whatever leg at the end of that month has the least amount of volume, that's going to be your lesser leg, and you're going to get paid a basic commission on that lesser leg if you're qualified on your Tracking Center 1. We're going to do, in the month of November, we're going to do a Saturday presentation on Synergy's compensation plan so that we, again, bring these things home, as well as create a short video that you can use if people have questions about the compensation plan. The next terminology is mega matches. This is really the place where people make or have the potential to make a huge amount of residual income in Synergy worldwide. And what a mega match is a dollar for dollar match on the basic commissions of everyone, not some people, but everyone you sponsor. As long as you're properly qualified on your Tracking Center 1, you are eligible for a dollar for dollar match on any of your personally sponsored distributors who earn a basic commission for the month. So this applies to your left or right leg. It doesn't matter whether it's your lesser leg or strong leg, it still applies. And it doesn't matter what level they are to you in your Synergy organization. They could be one generation away from you. They could be 1,000, 2,000, however thousands of generations away from you. If you have personally sponsored them, no matter where they're at in your Synergy organization, and they earn a basic commission, and you're properly qualified on your Tracking Center 1, you will earn a dollar for dollar match on their basic commission. And you are not capped on the number of personally sponsored distributors that you can earn the mega match off of. So if you have one personally sponsored distributor, you have the potential for one mega match. If you have 10 personally sponsored distributors, the potential for 10 mega matches. If you have 1,000 personally sponsored distributors, you have the potential for 1,000 mega matches. This is the power of the Synergy dual linear mega match compensation plan. We'll talk more about this come sometime in November. We haven't scheduled when we'll do this. Leadership bonus. Once your lesser leg volume, CV, reaches a certain threshold, Synergy Worldwide will start paying you commissions on your strong leg CV. Now in North America, this threshold is 6,000 CV on your lesser leg, which means that your other leg is got to be at 6,000 CV or higher. And Synergy will start paying you commissions on the greater leg CV. They have an actual formula that they use. I don't want to get into the details of what that formula is today, but there's a formula for computing what this leadership bonus would be. Now, one of the things that we teach, this is not Synergy, but that we teach in our Synergy organization is what we call the 10-10 Club. The 10-10 Club is a systematic approach to building your Synergy business. The first 10 represents building your Synergy business to at least 10 customer orders per month. Why? Because it creates CV on your Tracking Center 1, which then earns you Elite Rebates. This is the cash flow that you need to operate your Synergy business. It allows you to treat your Synergy business like a real business. It allows you to market to family and friends with a marketing strategy that doesn't alienate them, but rather sees them to look at you differently as a mission that you're involved in with nitric oxide therapy or whatever your marketing strategy is going to be that could help other people understand how that could naturally address many of their cardiovascular health issues. Or if they're having some problems with their gut, how they could, again, use natural ways to reset their gut health to make drastic improvements in their overall health. People become receptive to that information, which then allows you to convert that into customers who are using Synergy products, ProOxygenate Plus or the Biome products, which then creates for you a customer's orders. The CV of that order is then tied to your Tracking Center 1. Once it's above that threshold here in North America of 150 CV, you start earning an Elite Rebate. So the potential for cash flow increases, and if you're teaching the 10-10 Club down through your organization of the people that you sponsor, and you're teaching them to teach the same 10-10 club to the people that they sponsor, you're creating the potential for basic commissions and mega matches. The second 10 of the 10-10 club represents your personally sponsored distributors into Synergy Worldwide. And again, if you use proper sponsoring and placement techniques, this creates the potential for residual income through basic commissions, through mega matches, and through leadership bonuses. Now, given the terminology and given what I've shared so far, let's begin to implement this whole aspect of proper sponsoring and placement techniques. So let's give the common mistake. The common mistake that most people make when they join Synergy Worldwide is they focus on just one side of their organization. In this case, the person is focusing on the right side. So as they bring new people into Synergy Worldwide, sponsor new people into Synergy Worldwide, they add them to the outside of their right leg and continue to keep adding people to the outside of their right leg and do nothing for the other side. Or they could make the same mistake by adding people to the outside of their left leg, outside left leg, outside left leg, and not do anything on the right-hand side. So the problem is when you come to the end of the month, and if you have no distributors on one side of your organization, in this case, no distributors on your left side, guess what? The volume of your lesser leg is 0. If my volume in my lesser leg is 0, I have no potential for basic commissions. I have no potential for leadership bonuses. And if I don't teach the people that I sponsored proper sponsoring and placement techniques, and they make the same mistake because they start adding people to the outside of their right leg and do nothing on the other side, then there is no potential for mega matches. And unfortunately, this has happened to a lot of people in Synergy Worldwide, never taught proper sponsoring and placement techniques. So they have one side of their TC1 that has a nice growing business or a lot of volume, and they have 0 to very little volume on the other side. And so what happens is they either see no basic commissions, no potential for leadership bonuses, and drastically reduced potential for mega matches because people are not being taught proper sponsoring and placement techniques. So let's begin to look at what happens when you do apply this process. So again, what is our technique? Our technique is when a person first joins, if they have no one underneath them and they begin to sponsor people, you place the first person on the outside of your left, the second person on the outside of your right, and the third person on the outside of your weak leg. So in this example that I'm showing you is the third person was put on the outside of the right leg. Now, by teaching proper sponsoring and placement techniques, you create the potential for elite rebates, basic commissions, mega matches, and leadership bonuses. And you'll notice that I put sponsoring and placement in red and I underlined it. It's proper sponsoring and placement techniques. What's proper sponsoring? Proper sponsoring is helping the people that you sponsor into Synergy Worldwide to understand that they need to treat it like a real business and create a customer base. If you treat this like a real business and create a customer base, then you create the potential for elite rebates, cash flow on your Synergy business. Now, what do we try and teach in the 10-10 Club? We try and teach that you build your Synergy business to at least 10 customer orders per month. That means that you need more than 10 customers because not everyone's going to order every month. Some people might, depending upon what you have them on, but like if they're doing nitric oxide therapy and they're using the ProArts 9 Plus product and they're doing the Jumbo Jar Plus One, where they're getting the big Jumbo Jar that has 180 servings and they're getting the box of single serve sticks, where there's 30 individually wrapped sticks in a box, that's 210 servings. Or if they're up in Canada, where Canada doesn't allow the jumbo jar, but does allow Synergy to sell a 7-box program, which would be 210 servings, that person is not going to use that in a monthly process. They're going to most likely use that over a 2 to 3 to 4 month process. So you'll need more than 10 of them. You might need 20, you might need 30. You build your Synergy business to the point where you have at least 10 customer orders per month. Now, what does that look like in terms of volume, CV? Well, I'm just going to use an average order of 150 CV. If I've got 10 customer orders, the average per order is 150 CV. That puts 1,500 CV on my Tracking Center 1. Now, Elite Rebates are paid out once I'm above the minimum threshold. Here in North America, the minimum threshold is 150 CV. So if I back that off from the 1,500, I'm left with 1,350 CV that's eligible for Elite Rebates, 25%. That means that I created $337.50 in Elite Rebates. That's over $300 a month for me to be able to operate my Synergy business. Now, I'm going to move over into what's called organizational value. If I'm doing proper sponsoring and teaching the people that I've sponsored to replicate this, where they're now building their customer base to the point where they've got 10 monthly orders per month, and they're then also teaching their personally sponsored distributors to do the same thing. If they have 10 customer orders per month, that 1,350 CV, the way that Synergy Worldwide looks at this from an organizational volume is that you divide that by 2, gives you 675 CV. You add back in the threshold of 150 CV. And so that person would represent to me 825 CV of volume that would be organizational volume that I have the potential to earn basic commissions off of, leadership bonuses off of, as well as generating for them, if they're teaching it down through their organization, basic commissions for the people that they're teaching, as well as creating the potential for mega matches. Now, let's look at what this would be. So if I've got I've sponsored 3 people in the Synergy Worldwide, and they're beginning to sponsor people. And for the people that I've sponsored, I'm using TC1. So I've got my TC1 here at the top. And then people that I've sponsored, I'm recognizing them by also looking at their TC1s. And they're sponsoring people. So if they sponsor and place someone on their weak leg, that creates the potential for a basic commission. So that's the red circles. Now, if you look at basic commissions, let's look at the end of the month. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people on my left-hand side, and I've got 5 people on my right-hand side. And again, understand that this is an illustration. So from an illustration standpoint, I can't give you the infinite number of possibilities that could happen here. So we're just going to give you one possibility just to show you why sponsoring and placement techniques are so critically important. So we're going to say that everyone in this example has their 10 customer orders for the month, and that every one of those customer orders averages 150 CV. So what does it represent on their Tracking Center 1? Every person represents to you 825 CV. That means I've got 4 people times 825 CV. That gives me 3,300 CV on my left-hand side. And I've got 5 people doing the same thing on my right-hand side, which is 4,125 CV. I come to the end of the month. How are basic commissions paid? Basic commissions are paid on the side that has the lesser amount of volume. In this case, my left side has 3,300 CV compared to 4,125 on my right side. So my left side is my lesser leg. I'm using 7% for basic commission. That means I earn a basic commission of $231.50. Now, whoever my sponsor is, I know who that person is. My sponsor would earn, if they were properly qualified on their Tracking Center 1, and if they had 10 customer orders on a monthly basis, they would always be properly qualified on their Tracking Center 1. They would then earn a dollar for dollar match on my basic commission of $231. For the ones that I've sponsored, they've got a person on their weak leg that has 825 CV of volume. That means that if you take 825 CV of volume and they're earning 7% basic commission, that means that this person here on my left, my two people I sponsored here on my right, they're each, all of them earning $61.25 in basic commissions. It doesn't matter whether that person is on my left side or my right side. It doesn't matter whether they're on my weak leg or my strong leg. It doesn't matter whether they're one generation from me or 1,000 generations away. If they earn a basic commission and I'm properly qualified on my Tracking Center 1, I mega match their basic commission. So I've got 3 people that I've sponsored. Each of them are earning $61.25. If I multiply that by 3, that's $183.75 in basic commission. So what is the goal? The goal is to continue to replicate this whole process. You know, if I chose not to show you the next replication because we end up getting bogged down in numbers, but I want you to understand that if you use proper sponsoring and placement techniques, so that I've got 3 people that I've sponsored. What is my goal in the 10-10 Club? My goal in the 10-10 Club is to sponsor 10 personally sponsored distributors. I can do more than that, but I want to sponsor at least 10 personally sponsored distributors. So the month ends. This is October. The October ends, and this is what my volumes look like for the month of October. I go into November, and I've got a new person who wants to join Synergy Worldwide, and I have the privilege of being their sponsor. What am I going to do? What's my sponsoring and placement technique when I start my next 3? Sponsor the first person on the outside of my weak leg, the second person on the outside of my strong leg, the third person on the outside of my weak leg. So where am I going to sponsor that first person when they come in November? I'm going to sponsor them at the end of my weak leg, which would be the outside left of the last person in my left-hand side. Now, this last person in my left-hand side, I may not have sponsored, which is fine. Because what have I done? I've helped strengthen their synergy business. In addition to strengthening my synergy business, I'm also helping to strengthen their synergy business. And I'm also creating the opportunity for my TC1, the person I sponsored, to reevaluate how they're going to put their next person into their organization. Because if that person is placed on the outside of my left-hand leg, now when this person here, second generation or first generation from me, sponsors their next person, they're going to be looking and saying, okay, where do I put that person? Do I put them on the outside of my right leg, or do I put them on the outside of my left leg? They're going to look and see which side is their lesser leg, and they're going to sponsor that person on the outside of their lesser leg, and then the second person on the outside of their strong leg, and then the outside of their weak leg. And if you continue this process, you're going to keep a very balanced synergy organization until something happens where 1 or 2 of your distributors take off. and they sponsor someone in network marketing who really understands how to do network marketing and brings in a huge organization, and they properly sponsor the people that they bring in on their left and right hand sides because they have been taught, shown, let me put it this way, shown the 10-10 club, shown the power of creating both customers and proper sponsoring and placement techniques to maximize the synergy compensation plan. And now they just explode. And one side becomes your strong leg with huge amounts of value. And how do you adapt to that? Or if you're been in Synergy Worldwide and you're in that position where you have one side that has so much volume on it that there's no way that you're going to ever be able to overcome that, or continues to grow and develop, how do you use a sponsoring and placement technique to help you address that situation? So when we come back up here, the right side of this cheat sheet is designed for you. What do we want to do on the right side of that cheat sheet? Well, what we want to do is you want to find an existing distributor that's in your weak leg that you've personally sponsored. And then what you want to do is you want to partner with them, where you help them grow their synergy business. And partnering with them begins to say, we're going to work together. I'm going to sponsor my people. You're going to sponsor your people. But every time we have a person that's ready to join Synergy Worldwide, let's talk with each other so that we can make sure that we place them in your synergy business on either your weak leg or strong leg so that I can help strengthen your synergy business. What does that do for them? It helps them grow their synergy business faster, helps them earn greater basic commissions because there's more volume in their weak leg. And what does it do for you? Everything that's happening on that person that you personally sponsored, that you've gone and partnered with to help them develop their synergy business, what it means to you is everything that happens in their organization, all the volume in their organization is now organizational volume in your lesser leg, which allows you now to start earning basic commissions at a faster pace than if you just use the new distributor sponsoring and placement technique. So going back to this last example down here, let's make this a little bit smaller. So if I had all this volume going on my right-hand side, and I had a small amount of volume going on my left-hand side, I want to say to TC1, let's give TC1 a name. Let's call TC1 Joey. So I would say to Joey, you're sponsoring people. I've got my right-hand side is just too large. So Joey, what I want to do is I want to partner with you. I'm going to be sponsoring people. You're going to be sponsoring people. But let's work together so that when you're ready to bring someone into Synergy Worldwide and I'm ready to bring someone into Synergy Worldwide, let's talk and let's make the decision where best to place them using the following scenario. We're going to work in threes. The first person we're going to sponsor on the outside of your weak leg. The second person we're going to sponsor on the outside of your strong leg, and the third person we're going to sponsor on the outside of your weak leg. That way I can help you grow even faster. I can help you grow even larger basic commissions, which then allows me to mega match dollar for dollar your increased basic commissions. And we want to make sure that we teach together the people that we bring in the Synergy Worldwide to harness the power of the 10-10 Club and proper sponsoring and placement techniques so that we're helping those new distributors build their customer base to create their cash flow, which then also creates organizational volume for us to help increase our potential for basic commissions, increases our potential for mega matches, because any increase in basic commission means that our mega match increases, and will also get us faster to being able to tap into leadership bonuses. When do leadership bonuses kick in? Kicks in when the side that has 6,000 CV of volume is now called your lesser leg, which means your strong leg is at 6,000 CV or more. And you start earning leadership bonuses on that, which is another nice addition to your residual income stream. Now, with that said, do I have any questions from anyone with regards to the information that I've shared with you this morning? Again, it's being recorded. It will be hosted, again, going back to, our Synergy family. We're going to put it onto the Your Synergy Funnel section of our Synergy family. The video for today will go right next to this PDF so that you will have this video to go back and refresh yourself. But do we have any questions or comments from anyone on today's presentation?
Hey, Dan, I got a question.
Yes.
Say somebody's been involved with Synergy for a little while and they've gone the route of sponsoring heavily on one side. What would be the recommendations on correcting that to balance it out?
So it's Yancy, right?
Yes.
So Yancy, if let's for example, say that it's your right-hand side that is the mature side of your Synergy business that has a lot of bank volume as well as continuing to grow. I would then recommend to you that you find someone that you personally sponsored in your left-hand side. And let's say that maybe you don't have a person in your left-hand side that you personally sponsored. And maybe you don't even have activity in your left-hand side. So I would then, if you're going to build a Synergy business, I would start sponsoring people. And I would say to the first person that you sponsor, I would say to them, and let me talk to you in terms of how I would talk to you, Yancy, if you were thinking of joining Synergy Worldwide and you showed me that you were interested in building.
Okay.
I would say, Yancy, this is my situation. I'm in Synergy Worldwide. I've been in Synergy for a long time. I have a huge organization on my right-hand side. I have a lot of bank volume on my right-hand side. I have no interest in building my right-hand side. I need to build my left-hand side. I'm looking for a person that I can sponsor in the Synergy Worldwide that we can partner together, which means that I'm going to do my part, but my partner also has to do their part. So if you're interested in Synergy Worldwide and you want to join with me in Synergy, where I have the privilege of being your sponsor, I'm going to place you on my left-hand side. And then my recommendation to you, and you've got to tell me whether you feel comfortable with this or not, because I'm going to hold you accountable to it, just like you're going to hold me accountable to what I'm going to tell you I'm going to do. Once you come in, we're going to partner. Now, what does partnering mean? It means that you're still going to sponsor your own people. I'm still going to sponsor my own people, but I'm going to place all of my people underneath you in a sponsoring and placement technique that we work together. What's that sponsoring placement technique? When you're ready to bring someone in, or I'm ready to bring someone in, I'm going to talk to you. We're going to talk together. And the first person is going to go on the outside of your weak leg. The second person is going to go on the outside of your strong leg. And the third person is going to go out on the outside of your weak leg. And then we'll start again with the next three. And we'll follow that same pattern. That way, Yancy, I can help you create as balanced an organization as possible, which is going to help you see greater volume on your lesser leg, which means that you're going to get better or higher basic commissions. And the beauty of the Synergy business is that I'm going to then also mega match that dollar for dollar. So I have a vested interest in partnering with you, helping you be successful. And the other key, Yancy, in this process is we're going to use what we call the 10-10 Club to develop your Synergy business, to develop my Synergy business, and for every person that you sponsor and every person that I sponsor, we want to teach them the power of the 10-10 Club, helping them build their customer base, to create the cash flow that they need for their synergy business, as well as proper sponsoring and placement techniques so that they can then also grow their synergy organizational volume, which then creates basic commissions for them and the potential for mega matches. For those that you sponsor, you earn the mega match. For those that I sponsor, I earn the mega match. Yancy, does that make sense?
It does. One thing that intrigued me the most was the first 10 that you were describing about developing the 10 customers in your customer base. Is that if you maintain that and service that properly, then you actually create the customer base that creates the volume that affords you to have your business almost self-sustaining at that point for operational expenses per se. And then the other side of the 10 is so that you can actually build the power of the residual income. And I find that very attractive in that when you create that balance with the 10-10 and utilizing properly the left and right sides of your organization, that you develop strength. It is because I was thinking about something just a little while ago as you were talking. I was thinking the more automatic you can make a system, the easier it is to maintain. And if you can make this an automatic process in a routine and consistently, like a bodybuilder does, then it becomes a business that is self-duplicating and self-growing. So that's really, really attractive, and that's really, and I've looked at this a couple different ways, but I'm just thinking about trying to get myself more involved in being proactive about creating a balance in my organization. And so I appreciate that, Dan. I appreciate your comments and leading me into that. It gives me a little more insight and things to think about. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and Yancy, there's a couple things that I want to key on what you just said. So you're absolutely correct in your observation. So typically what happens in network marketing is people are brought in as distributors, and then they're encouraged to get on some type of monthly auto ship. And most people get on a monthly auto ship for the minimum amount because all they're looking for is to try and earn commissions from the compensation plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, let's say that all these TC1s came in with, let's say they came in with the minimum threshold in North America is 100 CV if you're on auto ship. So if they all came in with 100 CV, instead of that TC1, because they have no customer base, instead of having them represent 825 CV to me, they only represent 100 CV.
Okay.
So I've reduced my potential by 8 times. Or the other way of looking at it is by teaching that you build a customer base, the first 10 of the 10-10 club, I increase the potential by 8 times in how I can get rewarded for building my synergy business.
On that TC1.
Exactly. Let's say
Okay.
that every person on their TC1 just had a monthly auto ship of 100 CV. First off, they would earn no elite rebates, so they would have no cash flow to run their synergy business.
Okay.
And if I have a person down here, let's say I've got 100 CV on each person's tracking center 1 on the left-hand side and 100 on my right-hand side. So it would be 4 times 100, which would be 400 CV times 0.07. So I just took my basic commissions from $231 down to $28.
Wow.
All right. And then let's look at these people here. You know, the ones in red, they've got 100 CV times 0.07. So the basic commission for these other people would be $7 times 3 for my mega matches. I would be earning $21 in mega matches as opposed to $183.75.
Yeah.
The power and and this is what keeps Synergy Worldwide recognized by the federal government as a legitimate business is because we're teaching people, not just teaching them, but we also put into the compensation plan a reason to have a customer base. Because a customer base allows you to earn these elite rebates.
Yeah.
And you can scale this. I mean, we're talking 10. What if I had 20 monthly orders? Well, now I'll be closer to 337 times 2. I'm closer to $674 in cash
Mm-hmm.
flow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would an extra $674 on a monthly basis do for a lot of families? A lot.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the last time I looked at it, the threshold for bankruptcy was $500. If somebody lost $500 a month, they're bankrupt.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
by having 10 customer orders, I'm now pretty close to that figure, and so I can scale that.
Yep.
And what does it do if people scale that because they want more cash flow? Then what does that do from organizational volume? It just puts more organizational volume on my left side and my right hand side if people
Yeah.
scale their synergy business with their customers.
And people have the opportunity to set the effort or the volume that they want to get
Correct.
to. And so if they're comfortable with working with, say, 10 or around 10 plus or minus a few customers a month, and they can be efficient at that and keep their customers happy, that creates a better business in terms of your reputation, your serviceability, because you can actually grow too big and then you get out of hand and then you can't service your customers very well. But if you can, whatever you can manage or whatever you're comfortable with, and whatever returns revenue that helps you maintain your business and produce, some residual income that helps you stay out of that, danger ratio of not having enough money to cover your expenses, then all is well in La La Land,
Sure. And then the other thing that you have, Yancy, is you also have a testimonial that you can share with other people to say, we have a business strategy that will help you create cash flow to operate your synergy business, as well as a business strategy that will help you maximize Synergy's compensation plan, especially the residual income portion of the compensation plan.
As well as provide the opportunity to get the products that benefit you personally.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And you're really not paying for those because it comes out of the profit of the business.
Yeah.
So it's like win-win-win instead of just win-win or win-lose. It's a win-win-win because you're looking at three aspects of it instead of just two.
Yep. Great observations.
Cool. I'm done. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome. Thanks. Good questions. Good observations. Anyone else with any questions or comments before we say goodbye today? I want to thank everyone for your time today. Next Saturday, Bob Wishmeyer and Judy Feldhausen will be doing the next leadership development using material from Les Brown. Looking forward to that. And we will have our schedule for November pretty much set. And we'll not talk about it next week, but you're going to, first week in November, I'm going to be showing you a new marketing tool that you can use to attract business builders to help you then implement the sponsoring and placement technique. I'll leave it as a tease for the first Saturday in November. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed weekend.